Joining us now is Ben Asgari from the phone from Melbourne. And Ben, good morning to you. Flemington today, what are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, Ori Star Day from Flemington, and it is a wet, cold and wintry day in Melbourne today. I've actually just got back from holidays in far north Queensland, so a bit of a shock to the system in Victoria this week. It's been hailing already, and I think we're on a soft 7 to kick things off, but it wouldn't surprise me if we get into the heavy range today if this rain continues, which we don't often see at Flemington, given the way the track drains. But at this time of the year, there's not much warmth in that soil, and the rain has a bit more of an effect. So feature of the day is the Ori Star handicap at Group 3 level.
Yeah, you holiday in the warmth. I actually holidayed in Melbourne, and it was freezing cold. There was a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, I can understand you getting back there and seeing how cold it is. Tell us about this Ori Star, because it's normally been a decent kicking off point through for spring races. Is there a horse out of this that we can maybe follow through this spring?
It's a fascinating race this year, I suppose, because of the presence of the easing favourite in Cesar, who was oh so impressive when he first up in Sydney. Really disappointing when he was started, or he was $1.80 in the betting. Actually drifted out on the day to about the 230, 240 mark because he got so hot and worked up in the mounting yard prior to the race, and he raced accordingly. He over-raced and threw his head around and just didn't put in at the finish in the Bletchingley Stakes. I suppose if he brings his best form, like when he won last year as a 3-year-old in Sydney, or first up in Sydney, he would be the horse to beat because his best is very good. But he's going to be one we're probably going to have to see in the mounting yard today. Then we've got the fit and honest types like Malibu Style and Milwaukee, and some interesting horses resuming. Antar's a horse who is lightly raced but quite progressive. There's been some money for him. And Rajkovic's an interesting galloper dropping back in distance. We see a horse like Iconoclasm resuming. He might be able to do something, head towards a race like Rupert Clark. So it's a very interesting race. We've even got, remiss of me not to mention the filly Hood for Tony McAvoy, who is a Group 1 winner, who we get to see first up. So tough race. I think it's going to come down to how Cesar parades. If he's calm and people are happy with the way he walks around the mounting yard, I think he's the horse to beat. But I certainly couldn't push anyone into him without having seen him in the mounting yard.
Ben, just a quick word on True Excelsior, who we know in New Zealand because they brought the horse over to run in the Telegraph, also in the BDC Group Sprint, running 5th in that Group 1 at Tarapa. We saw the run in the Bletchingley. It seemed to have merit.
It did. This race has got a bit more depth to it. I think if she brought her best form, she'd be a solid top 3. Hope I'm working around her today, but she certainly has run well in this class at the track and distance before too, which is going to help her.
Okay, yeah. What have you found on the undercard for us, there, Ben?
Well, it's only a benchmark 70. It's the lowest prize money race of the day. Race 3 on the program, a straight track sprint over 1,200 metres. But it's arguably the most interesting race. We get to see a pretty smart horse in Jumbo Azaki resuming. He's up against a fairly promising filly and Talented, who of course ran second to Microphone at stakes level down the straight last preparation during the autumn. But gee, I've got a big opinion of this Jumbo Azaki. He bolted in by 7 lengths on debut, running the fastest last 400 and 200 of the meeting. He then beat the older horses at Bendigo, and then he should have clearly won at Flemington before a spell where he had no luck at all and still flashed home in the 9th fastest last 200-metre sectional of the meeting, despite the fact he only got out with about 100 to go. So he's a smart horse. The query is he going to handle the wet track? If he does, I think he'll just win. I think he's a horse destined for bigger and better things, and I think you're getting the price because the query is how he's going to handle the ground, and that is a legitimate query. So that's the gamble we're taking there with Jumbo Azaki, and I think I'm pretty much in the same boat as a lot of people, thinking the best thing of the day at Flemington comes up in the 7th race. It's a mare's benchmark 84 over 1,400 metres, and My Pendant's very popular, and with good reason. She resumed at Flemington over 1,200 metres. She bumped into a smart mare in Sylvia's Mother. She was beaten by her, but certainly not disgraced. You'd think she's even better suited with a run under her belt, stepping up to 1,400 metres. She handles the conditions. She finds a pretty winnable race here. There's not much in terms of quality opposition, and I think she's destined for better races. So the two things that I like today, they're both not overly huge odds, but we'll go with race 3, Jumbo Asgari, and race 7, My Pendant, and hopefully we can get a couple of results at Flemington today.
Okay, you're on the same page as Dan O'Sullivan, who we had on the first call yesterday. He was keen on My Pendant, who goes round in those Waikato stud colours as well. Mark Chittick and the team out there, so best of luck to them. Damien Oliver to ride. Ben giving us a good push at Jumbo Asgari. Geez, that horse was unlucky that day as well. John Allen to ride at 240, and Kentucky Breeze and Lumia in there in the last at $9.50 and $8, so a couple of value bets. Our thanks to Ben Asgari joining us.